Okay, just ooh, that's not good. You can't see anything. Whoops. Let's go ahead and yeah, let's do. There we go. See, there we go. Perfect. Ooh, 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 ooh. I think it was hidden. I think it was hidden. Whatever. I can always change it later. But anywho, hello y'all. Hope you're having a good day so far. For me, it's a little late at night here. I'm gonna try to get back to YouTube rather than what's it called? This. So let's go here back to YouTube. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Let's go here. Yes, I like to watch my anime. Also, what the? Huh. Okay. Anyways, so let's go
Take
here.
a closer look at this drill.
Um, so recently I stumbled upon this shorts, okay, and I thought it was quite interesting. I mean,
Take a closer look at this drill. You can see that the drill is only slightly bigger than the gaps between my finger.
so you kind of said it there. It's a very tiny drill. The drill is very small. Honestly, I find that to be impressive. Okay, that drill is extremely small, but then later in the clip, just because I don't want to entirely steal their
And we
content,
continue turning. And I turn the part down to 14 thousandths, which is really crazy because the OD is 14 thousandths, the ID is 8 thousandths, which means the ring going around it is only 3 thousandths thick.
I mean, that right there goes to show how precise this drill is, and that I think is quite a fascinating thing. And then it also
It could totally
later,
don't ask why I know that. Take a closer look.
Later in the video, or no, maybe not later. So maybe it's right here. Yeah, right here. He breaks it. He breaks it with his simple thumb. So I think what's amazing is that we can make something so small, okay, but its properties are able to withstand being drilled straight into metal, because of its hardness. But some people, when I was checking these comments, okay, we're right here. This one. Crazy how something so small can drill through metal. I think I agree with that. That is not an inherently obvious thing. Okay. And even this right here. So it's a 27 tungsten drill bit. There we go. Okay. It is an amazing thing to have a drill that small be able to easily drill through metal. Because normally small things that you can literally break with your thumb, as this guy demonstrated, okay, you wouldn't expect them to be able to drill through metal. Yet this one does. And science backs it up to say, yeah, that's how it works. And as an engineer, I think that's amazing. I think that's wonderful. That kind of just goes to show the amazing properties of just materials in general. And yeah, I found it to be cool. I found it to be quite cool, quite interesting, like I've already said. However, some people, when we go to this comment right here, yeah, and then are not. They're not surprised. They're actually making fun of people. They're like, obviously, that's how it works. That's how it works. Don't be surprised by it. Why? Why not be surprised by it? What do we have to gain by not being surprised by it? Is this just something that everybody should know how a drill works? No, not everybody works with the drill. Okay? I mean, if you're an engineer, then it's obvious. If you work in construction, then yeah, it's obvious. But even if it's obvious, it's still impressive. Okay? Isn't it obvious that a professional singer can sing a really high note for a very long extended time? Yeah, obviously they should be able to do that. They're a professional singer who's renowned across the world. Of course they can do that. But is it not impressive? No, it's not. It's still impressive. It still holds some level of esteem. And I think being able to make things that are very, very tiny and precise is quite an amazing thing. Even if we've been able to do it for a long time, it still is an achievement of engineering capabilities. And it's still something we should be amazed at because it just goes to show how amazing engineering is. It's a point of fascination. And I feel like to say that, oh yeah, it's obvious. It's very obvious. You should have already known this. There's nothing to be surprised about. It's not crazy at all. That just kind of ruins the amazement that engineering brings for some people. You're kind of ruining the magic behind engineering. You know, everything has its own magic, and this is like ruining it. And it's like you're not even like telling them why or how it can be done. You know, you're not even teaching them in process. You're just saying, yeah, that's just how it works. Get used to it. Grow up. I think that's lame. Um, I personally refer to the ASME Code of Ethics of Engineers. These are basically consist of, well, we're going to look at the fundamental canons here in a second. But this is basically like the go-to code for all engineers. ASME is one of the biggest kind of foundations within like the engineering kind of environment, I guess. I don't know. I'm not great with big words off the top of my head, unfortunately. Should have became an engineering, or sorry, an English major. Also, it's a little late at night. I don't know. I could make up excuses. But you get the point, and what I'm trying to say here is part of the fundamental canons is this idea number 3 right here. Engineers, okay, if you can get out of the way, engineers shall continue their professional development throughout their careers and shall provide opportunities for the professional and ethical development of those engineers under their supervision. Now, many of you can interpret this a different way. You could be like, well, okay, yeah, I do that in my job. But in my opinion, so this is kind of like a little bit more of a law code, what have you. But what this is trying to say is it's trying to say focus on building yourself up and then building others up. Okay? Saying stuff like, oh, why are you surprised, doesn't build people up. Okay? I think, yeah, see, this is a comment right here. This is a more appropriate comment for saying, like, yeah, that's how it works. Okay? Basic understanding of the hardness sail. You should explain it. Okay? Engineers are not here to be some like higher, like, oh yeah, that's how it is. You guys should just know it. This is basic stuff. It's not basic stuff to all people. Okay? Not only engineers are going to see this. This video, which has 165,000 likes, which I'm pretty sure that's, I don't, well, actually, no, I'm pretty sure it's like double that for the number of engineers in the US, but still, okay, just speaking of just the US alone, okay, that's a large number. We're saying like half the engineers in the population of the US. That's kind of crazy. Definitely reaches other parts of the world. Let me see if there's a way I can go to specifically that video. Oh goodness. Where is the tiny drill bit? Okay, I'm just gonna cut short. There still should be millions of views on that video. Here's one where it has 3 million views. Okay, I don't think there's that many engineers in the world. Okay, just because I don't want to take the time to look through their
Take a
entire
closer
channel.
look at this drill. You can
Is there a way to description? There we go. Figured it out. 6 million views. I don't think there's that many engineers in the entire world. I could be wrong though. There's a good chance I'm wrong, but that's a lot of people. This is not just engineers. This is normal random people. Let them be amazed. Let them learn. Don't just shut them down and say, hey, this is freaking normal. Wise up. Know this. This is common sense. It's not common sense. This is amazing engineering at work. And let's treat it like such instead of being like, oh, obviously, like, you're not using these drills on some construction site 24/7. You're not drilling with 0.00 like 1 millimeter accuracy or whatever. I didn't read what the specification is, but like you're not working with specifications that tiny on a freaking construction site. Like this one dude that I had a conversation with. No, not him. Nope, not them either. Where? This guy right here. Yeah, so I had a conversation with this guy, and he said normal child in Europe knows that harder material scratches softer material, basically saying like, yeah, everybody knows this. Um, and so basically simply saying, how is it crazy? This is kind of what initially started like my shock at this. Um, I'm going to ignore the fact that he's like, oh, dumb American, because that's not really a good point. But it's just this stuff of being kind of demeaning towards those who want to learn. This video is for people to learn of the amazingness of engineering. Let them learn instead of shutting them down and saying you're stupid. Teach them why. Clearly they don't know yet. Teach them why. Okay. And for the guy who most recently commented, okay, here's my printables. That's my name. You can use it all you want. I've made a rotary encoder. I have designed an entire studio apartment. I've made a working piston pump. Yes, it works. I don't mind the gears though. The gears I fixed later. These were gears just so that my teacher would approve of it. Which he just kind of looked at it and said like, okay, that's a good enough design. I let her change these. It was a 1:60 gear ratio. In order to make sure that we could kind of convert the speed of the motor into higher torque for the piston pump. And then I also made a working pellet gun, okay, that had a magazine. It was auto-feeding, okay? I also know what the HCP atomic structure is. I had to design that, okay? I've done engineering. I know how difficult it can be. Thermodynamics sucks ass, but it's stuff you got to learn, and it's still amazing. Even though I hate it, it's still amazing. Engineering inherently is amazing because it shows you how the world works, and that's amazing. So shutting down people who just want to be amazed by how the world works is stupid. Okay? Also, I will admit the wood cutting through the aluminum foil, I was trying to use that as a to show that common sense of this tiny drill drilling through metal isn't really common sense. You know, because you could have a big piece of wood drill through a super thin piece of aluminum just once, and you would be like, oh, clearly wood's able to drill through aluminum, even though aluminum technically is harder than wood. Obviously, there's case scenarios where that would not be the case. Also, I'm pretty sure if you apply enough friction to the wood to the aluminum sheet, it would still tear the sheet to some extent, but you'd also kind of flatten the tip of the wood, and at some point it would just be a flat piece of wood, and at that point it'd just purely be friction that's tearing it, not the wood piece itself. The wood would just be applying the friction, and then the piece would just tear because it's so thin. And then because you get crinkles, and those crinkles would tear, and then that would tear everything else. It's not going to stay perfectly flat. Yeah, if you apply it to a table, whatever. Okay, there's so many hypotheticals, but that you know that because you're an engineer, because you know how it works. Okay, we all know how it works. If you're an engineer, you know how things work because you did them. You also probably figured it out by doing some stupid shit, and you're like, oh, that's how it works. My bad. But it's upsetting to me to see such an elitist view of this, of where like obviously this is how things work. It's upsetting to me. As engineers, okay, we are here to solve problems, not make more problems and make people feel, you know, not good enough because they don't know how a drill works. Teach them. We're engineers. We're not here to gatekeep information. We're here to gatekeep information from other engineers, not the freaking people in the world who don't know the basic stuff that we think is basic. Okay? If you guys are so high and mighty on your throne of what is the knowledge or of like your precious knowledge of being an engineer, okay, and you're saying that everybody else is stupid, fix it. Make them not stupid. Teach them how engineering works. Okay? Engineers fix problems in the world. Engineers, their sole purpose is to enter into the world and basically fix like basically make it easier for people who live in the world. Okay? Yes, I do have some problems with stuff like Defense Force, but still at the same time, that's its own argument for a different day. And honestly, I haven't fully come to ramifications with like what that means. But that's not what this is about. The point is the idea of gatekeeping information when we should be sharing information. Okay, and we should be more accepting of people who don't fully understand it yet, which is what I was trying to defend, but you guys were just pointing at me, yes, I'm a little butt here. At pointing at me, going like, "How do you not know this stuff?" I'm trying to defend the people. People don't normally know this stuff. I'm the only engineer in my family. If I brought this to them and said that, "Hey, did you know that this drill can still drill through steel?" They'd be like, "What? No way." People don't already know that. Okay? It's all right for people not to know stuff. Teach them. If they don't know it, take a little. If you're going to take some time to reply to my 15 comments that I've made, instead of taking the time to just continuously roast my ass in your opinion, okay? Teach them. Teach people how to do it. Clearly, you have the time to write a long enough comment to explain how it works. Teach them about Moore's hardness. Teach them how it works. Teach them about the packing density of stuff. Don't just make people feel bad. Explain it. If you think that it's illegal to teach in America, okay, like that one comment said, you like education must be illegal. Well, I'll fix it by explaining it to us. It's as simple as that. But to kind of summarize this fun little rant I've had, I believe that the importance of engineering, okay, is to not only fix the problems, but then to help others grow through such. Okay? Some of those problems is a lack of understanding. Make a simple little like play kit that helps people learn how to do drills. That's an engineering thing you could do. Okay? Make a fun little do some systems engineering and set up a course that helps people learn the basics of woodworking or the basics of common machine shop etiquette or whatever. Help expand that area of knowledge and go even further. That's what engineers are supposed to do, solve problems. This was creating problems, not solving problems. And it's I think it was kind of like I had like a moment where it's like if I had a nickel for every time an engineer said like you're stupid for thinking that in this comment section to me directly, I'd have 2 nickels. You know, it's only 10 cents, but it's weird it happened twice. It's weird to see, and it's not just those two. There's many more comments in there that are just like, this is basic stuff. You should already know this. This is not surprising at all. In this time, it at least gained one more like, you know, because it went from 165 to 166, and it could have been at 165 999, and then it went to 166, you know, so at least gain one like. But it gained more likes. It's gaining more views. It's not just us, just many other people who are seeing this. Expand the knowledge. Let others know. Don't gatekeep it for yourself. I know I've been repeating myself, but it hurts me as an engineer to see people like talk others down because they don't know things that we think is common. I mean, I'll just kind of end this like there are many other people in this world. There are businessmen, there are econ majors, okay? There are communications majors, there are English majors, there are historian majors, there are art majors. There are so many political science. There's so many other professions out there that can do stuff that engineers can't do, okay? Because they have their own specialization. Even though we're engineers and we have our own specialization, we can do so much with what we can do. We were probably really bad at whatever this English major we could do. We probably can't write like a 100-page like emotional story that just wins awards and is able to speak to thousands of people. We can't do that as engineers. We didn't study to learn how to do that. If we learned from others and was taught information from others and picked up and listened to what others had to say because they explained how that worked, we could probably eventually do it, and that applies to everybody. That's like everything. Instead of gatekeeping it, we should share the information at hand, if possible, and not signing an NDA. We should share the information at hand. Don't gatekeep. It's stupid. Don't act all elitist and like this is common knowledge. That's stupid. Expect that people don't know, because most likely they don't. I've tutored for 4 years. People usually don't know what it is, and you have to explain it to them. And that's okay. It's okay. Goodness. Anyways, I think I'm done with my rant now. If you did watch this, thank you very much. I do hope to make a few more videos, probably like this. I like explaining my thoughts, my ideas, and kind of questions I have. We can talk about it in whatever comments you want us to. Make sure the comments stay respectful. We're here to chat. We're not here to demean. If we're going to shut somebody down, at least provide like some decent information. You know, explain how it works, and don't be mean. There's no reason to be mean. Okay, there's no reason to. We're all here to try and learn. That's what we're doing. So let it be like that. Anyways, thank you again. I hope you all have a great weekend. If you're watching it now, if you're not watching it during this weekend, I'm doing it on the April 11th, 2025. If you're not watching it then, you're watching it in the future. Well, I hope you're having a great week. With that.